Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Baron, and this is your Brain on Books. And today I want to talk about the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. Now, this is a classic in the fantasy genre, and it has a reputation of being an emotional reading experience, but also a just masterclass of character work. And this was my first experience with Robin Hobb, and I can say two things. One, the reputation is absolutely well warranted. And two, I can see her fast becoming one of my favorite authors of all time as I continue on with the Realm of the Elderlings series. So, before I really get into what the story is about and what I liked, I didn't like, etc., I do have a giveaway planned today. So if you're interested, hang out to the end of the video. I'll have all the details then. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. So starting with, what is this story or these three books about? And I see it really in two layers. And the first one, and the more obvious one, is this is a story, really a coming-of-age tale of a royal bastard orphan named Fitz Chivalry Farseer. So you get to see Fitz kind of navigate the political intrigue of this royal family. You get to see him become an assassin, a magic user, and ultimately he becomes the target of somebody very powerful and dangerous that sends him on this long journey or quest. Now you might be saying, hey, that sounds like pretty typical classic fantasy, been there, done that. And you would be right. This is classic fantasy. You're going to see a lot of those standard tropes. But what makes this special and why it still holds up today and is this true classic is the second layer. And to me, what this story is really about is the duality of love. And its reception or its absence can just invoke an immense amount of change in an individual. So through Fitz's journey, you get to see him, have these very complex interpersonal relationships and people kind of filling the vacuums of different things in his life, kind of like found family or somebody who becomes a father figure, and he has these, romantic relationships and these complicated friendships and everything else. And the moments and kind of the interactions he has with these people are just so well done, and it's absolutely beautiful. And that kind of ties back to what everyone says about Robin Hobb, is that she's just such a great character writer, and that's absolutely true. But I think she does that in a couple important ways, which I'll get to in a bit. But, this story is slow paced. It's a slow burn. I don't even really see it as a trilogy. I kind of see it as just kind of one overarching journey. And, there isn't the typical rise and fall and climax and everything else we associate with three books in a trilogy. It's just not that. You really are just watching Fitz grow. And he's going to frustrate you. He's going to make dumb decisions. He's going to make you feel sad and cry and happy and cheer for him. And it just feels so genuine. And you're going to be invested in him pretty quickly. I would say, within the first book, it kind of feels a little just like, all right, this is, typical fantasy, whatever. And then as you transition to that second one, it kind of all falls into place. And just the beauty of Hobb's writing and the beauty of this story really start to surface themselves. And just through the entire rest of the trilogy, it doesn't let up. So let me just get into what I think she does best, because there really isn't a lot of complaints I have about this. I will say it is for the character-focused reader, and if you like fantasy where it's a lot of big sword battles and all this kind of stuff, you ain't going to get that here. But that's fine. I don't think that was the intent of this at all. So the two things that I think Hobb really does well to kind of illustrate or build on this character work to make Fitz feel so three-dimensional is the magic system, which I'm going to touch on that second. But the first thing, which I have yet to see an author do better than Robin Hobb, is dialogue. Her dialogue is amazing, to where my favorite moments in these entire books, all three books, are just like when you have two people sitting in a room having a quiet conversation. I never thought I would say that. Like, that seems tedious, right? But it's not. It's just so real. And you feel like you're just pulled in and you're there. And the way she controls the communication between these people, to where like you can feel the candor or the restraint or any frustration they're having. It's just the small pauses. You can feel their hesitation trying to say something. And it's just so, it's amazing. I mean, I can just go on and on and on about how good she does this. And that really falls into the second aspect of where she can build her character so well, and that is the magic system. Now, it's kind of clever what she did with this because it's magic and it's cool, but it's also, she uses this as a way to break through the first person narrative and for the reader to witness things that they otherwise would not be able to if it was just done through first person narration. So there's two sources of magic in this story, and they're pretty similar, to be honest. The first one is called the skill. And people that are what they call skill users can basically use like almost a form of telepathy to link and communicate with other people that are skill users, or kind of see through their eyes, communicate with them, or in extreme circumstances, they can really inflict harm. Now, the second is called the wit. Now, the wit is a little more rare in this world. It's also quite taboo. And it works in a similar fashion to the skill. However, it's a connection and a bond between the user and an animal. So if you like animal companions, you're going to feel right at home here. But that bond is very, very complex, and it creates some pretty huge epic moments, unforgettable moments, really, in this story. So kind of going back to what I said before with her dialogue, you know, when you have this now kind of almost telepathic communication between these people and you break through that first person narration, she's able to then use her strengths of communication and dialogue through the magic, you know, between man and beast, between friend and foe, in ways that you just do not see in other stories. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing. I'm blown away by these stories, or really single story. So, you know, I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't know if there's much more I can touch on this other than the fact I was just absolutely amazed at her control of character work and dialogue and everything else in this story, to where stuff that I would originally thought I would be bored to tears reading, I didn't want to put it down. And that's something special. So I feel so strongly about this series that I plan on doing a giveaway today. And what I'm going to do is I have a complete set of the Farseer trilogy. These are the UK trade paperbacks. I've never read these. These are brand new copies. I'm going to give them away because I want more people to read this series. So if you're interested, just leave a comment down below. It doesn't matter what it is. You can tell me how your day's going or whatever, what the weather's like outside. I don't care. And just put a little book emoji. I'll put it in the description so you know which one I'm talking about, just so I know you're interested. I'm going to leave this open until the new year, and then I'll just throw everyone in a random wheel, spin it, and whoever wins, I'll reach out to you. So anyway, thanks for watching. I highly encourage you to pick up this series. It's truly something special. And until next time, see ya.